This is the plaintiff, Trudy Smith. She says she's suing the defendant, a bar owner near where she lives, for damages because a drunk driver plowed into her car while it was parked. That's right, as a bar owner, the defendant has a right and a moral duty not to overserve his patrons so they can drive home safely. She did her due diligence, knows she has a rock-solid case, and is suing for $5,000 for her totaled car. This is the defendant, Jeffrey. He says this whole lawsuit's just plain irrational because the plaintiff has no idea who hit her car in the middle of the night. The plaintiff has no proof of anything, just saw a bar near where she lives and is trying to extort him. He's accused of vehicular damages.
All parties, please raise your right hand. Be seated, come to order. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
Welcome,
okay, Trudy Smith and Salvador Sanchez.
Yes.
That's your son?
Yes.
He's how old?
He's 21.
Okay, and you have power of attorney to represent
That's
him here
correct.
today? Is the car under your name or his?
We're the both of us.
Both of you. Okay. You are suing the bar behind your building, represented
Correct.
here by Jeffrey. You've asked to be referred to only by your first name, and the glasses are medical.
Yes.
You okay?
Yes.
Okay. For $5,000 that you say you are due as a result of, let's call it dram shop violation.
Yes.
Okay. You are under the impression that their customers, one of their customers, hit your son's car. Okay.
Absolutely.
Talk to me and tell me what happened.
I just want to show you the display so you get a visual of everything.
Okay. And anybody who goes to the trouble of a display, I will get off the bench and go look at it.
I appreciate it. This is the road that we live on. That's my building there. And this is the parking lot. See?
Wait, what's the part? This row of cars is parked where?
In front of my building. This is where
And
I
that
live.
just a moment, does that belong to your building?
This lot does not belong to my building. It belongs to whoever owns this building here. But this
Is that where the defendant's bar is?
Yes, all the way at the end of the lot.
Okay.
And then basically, as you can see, there's plenty of cars outside here, and that's where everybody that lives here parks their cars down here. And the first time that we had the accident, what happened was on November 14th, my son came home around 11 o'clock, went to bed. I got up the next morning. I came outside, and I discovered the first car totaled. This is the first car. I don't know if you can see it from there.
Nope, he's gonna take.
And I called the police.
Oh, wait a minute.
A witness
Wait a minute,
came-
hold on.
Okay.
Is this a picture of your
The
car?
second
Your
car.
child? That's the second car?
The second car. If
Okay.
you see on the bottom, the valance was damaged, and that's where it was hit in the rear on
Wow.
the second time.
Wait,
but keep
this
going
is
to
the
the
second
end.
time?
This is the second car still. Just keep sliding.
Where's the first car?
Slide all the way to keep sliding. Right there.
That's the first car?
That's my first car.
Good Lord.
Tell me about it. I was devastated.
And the car, oh, that's a good picture right there.
Yeah.
So that car was clearly hit from behind, shoved
Clearly-
right into the concrete.
clearly hit from behind, and
Where's the parking for your building?
There is really none. If you could see.
So where are people in your building supposed to park?
I've always parked there. I've been living there for 2 years.
No,
I've never had
I know
any
what you've always
problems,
done. My
but-
question is where does the building
Right
tell
here.
you?
I'll
Just a
show
minute.
you.
I'm in the middle of a question. Hold on. Where does the building tell you to park?
They tell me I can park anywhere.
Is there street parking?
No.
I'm just kind of. So this is kind of your poor son who walks out to the car and sees this. That's awful.
It was awful. And what happened was police came, and a witness came down and made a statement in the police report. And when I saw the witness's statement, it stated it was a white Ford Mustang.
Let me see the police report.
On the last page is a witness statement. When I saw that it said white Ford Mustang, I immediately knew that it was a car that I've always seen parked on the weekends in front of his bar.
Who's the car belong to?
That's what I did. I walked up to the defendant. I immediately said, "Who owned the Ford Mustang?" He became hostile to me.
Why? What'd he say?
He was like, "You shouldn't be parking there." And I had my children with me.
Do you drive a white Ford Mustang?
No.
No, I drive a BMW.
Does anybody else who works there
No.
drive a white Ford Mustang?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay. And then I went there like 3 days later and passed out this flyer to everybody. And I went into his bar, and I was passing out the flyers because I know...
In his bar?
Yes, of course, because it's right where I live, and I know that I've seen that car there on numerous occasions, and it's a small town. And what happened was he saw the flyer became irate with me. I told him, my Irish temper came a little up, and I told him, pull up your big boy pants and tell me who owns the car. He decided to tell me to get out of his bar and don't come back in it, which I did. Subsequently,
This is great. Hold on one second. What a mama bear.
Yes.
On Friday the 14th into Saturday morning at approximately 4 a.m., a witness noticed a 2010 to 2012 Ford Mustang white with a black top hit my car in the parking lot. At this point, all I'm looking for is for this person to take ownership so that my son and I do not have to incur a loss during this holiday season.
Yeah.
No need for the police to be involved, just need the insurance information. Anybody
it.
with information, contact me, Trudy.
Right.
And a picture of the car all busted up.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it was right before, it happened.
Because
right
the person who was hit and run would like just immediately call you, like they probably wouldn't, but who knows? You never know what conscience can do to a person.
Right.
So, but it didn't work,
And
right?
It didn't work.
No, okay.
It didn't work. And then, and I was very due diligent. I faxed it to all the body shops and tow companies in the surrounding area.
Oh my God.
Very due diligent.
Don't
with
cross
it.
Trudy.
No,
Go ahead.
not with my children.
Okay.
So then, we took a loss. The whole holiday season was a bust. We had to get another car. And then we got another car. I helped co-sign that loan as well.
And then you parked in the same spot?
No, what he started doing, because he was afraid to park behind the building, was he started parking by the yellow house.
Still in the shopping center?
Yes.
Still in the shopping center?
Because there's no real other place.
Well, there is other place.
Well,
It's just not convenient.
No, not that, because
Okay.
we've
Okay.
always parked there.
Okay.
There's no real other place to park on that street. So anyway, subsequently, 3 months to the day, my son came home from work. The next morning, he woke up and came running in the house. He had to go take the baby to the doctors and found his second car, which is on the pictures again, which is the first one that's hit in the rear. If you go to the deck lid,
The Volkswagen?
yes, got plowed into the rear and pushed up on a snow embankment.
And now this is the second car
This
that got
is the
hit.
second car, and that's where it got hit in the rear by a pickup truck with a dolly hitch on it,
What
tow
time
hitch.
did he come out and notice that?
The morning time again.
How do
Yeah.
you know that got hit by a pickup truck with a dolly hitch on it?
Okay.
Wow, you have some kind of, okay.
I worked 20 years in the body shop business,
Oh.
towing, and you could tell by the height.
So all
of
those
where-
tow companies that say there's no way I could have created that damage, you know that it's not true?
Right.
Okay.
No, there's a lot, when towing a vehicle you can damage, absolutely, if you don't do it right.
All right, let me hear from you.
Okay.
You've asked me to refer to only by your first name, Jeffrey.
Right.
Jeffrey, you don't want us to name the bar. How late is the bar open?
During the week, usually 1 o'clock.
And how about after that?
On the weekends, about 3.
3. And on the day of the first accident was what day? Friday,
Friday.
the 14th. Is Friday a weekend?
Yes.
Okay, so
Friday
you're
and Saturday night's usually a little later.
Say it again.
Friday and Saturday night's usually a little later.
Okay, so 3 or 4?
Well, depending on if there's customers or not.
Okay, all right. So is there anything else that's open at 4?
No. I have pictures, and it's nothing personal or anything, but they park in those spots all the time. That's not their parking lot. I have pictures that say no parking on both sides, coming in and out. They provide parking across
But
the
they've
street.
always parked there.
Because we let them, because we're nice.
But they've always parked there.
Well, yeah, but that's still illegal. We let
But
the
they-
church
but
park
they've
there on
always
Sunday
parked
mornings. Yeah, I know, yeah, just.
Okay, all right.
When she came over to me in the morning, after this allegedly customer of mine hit the car, which I have no idea who could be or whatever, it doesn't matter. But no police ever came into me and asked me anything, all right? She just came over that Monday and started screaming at my customers. Somebody hit my son's car, somebody's paying for this. She starts threatening them. The bartender said, listen, get out. You crazy lady, go home. You live across the street, you should be parked there anyway, okay? Then we have leagues, you know what I mean, dart leagues and pool leagues and all that stuff. We're sitting there, she comes in on Wednesday night, she doesn't see me sitting there, and she starts yelling at all my customers. You, somebody put on your big boy pants and come pay for my kid's car. People are like, this lady's nuts. She starts handing these flyers that say that I'm responsible somehow. So I
No,
tell the-
this flyer doesn't say you're responsible. This
well,
flyer
it
just
says she's looking for the person, right?
Yeah,
In my place, saying that somebody from our place came and did this. So I said to her, I said, listen, you got to go. You're disrupting the business. Get out. She leaves and goes back across the street where if you look at that, I'll show you a picture of the sign, say no parking on both sides. That whole entire parking lot belongs to my landlord, not hers. She should be parked there to begin with. If she parked in the back of her building where she was supposed to be, we wouldn't be here. Okay, so when you take if you're parking.
Did you just out of curiosity, she claims that there was a Ford white Mustang that used to be a customer of yours all the time.
Yeah.
And was always out there. Was there some Ford?
No. I think she's thinking of a white Camaro that's always there, which is one of my people's nephews. But he's fine. Nothing ever happened to his car. He was there 2 days later with the car.
Okay.
It's black and white. But other than that, I mean, it's 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, whatever time she said. This guy was sitting in his window watching out at the parking lot, see this car get hit.
No, maybe he was coming home at the same time.
Well, she said he woke up or whatever, I think. Or whatever.
Yeah, maybe he woke up.
It doesn't really matter.
No,
But,
it
yeah.
doesn't. You know why?
Right.
Because you're not supposed to be parking there anyway.
Exactly.
Why are you parking there? And the answer cannot possibly be, because I always have. That's not an answer to, see, you presume that you have, well, let's presume, you presume a lot. And let's talk about all the things that you're presuming. Number one, you are presuming that the person who hit your car each time came from their business.
Absolutely.
And that's it might be a pretty safe presumption. You're the only business they're open. But of course, we also know that everybody in your building, that would include the people who are visiting people in your building, and there's 6 different apartments there, all parked there too. So it's people besides his customers that are there. But let's go with that and say it's one of his customers. He's not responsible for what his customers do unless you presume the second fact that you are assuming, which is that that person was incredibly drunk as opposed to just a crappy driver and not paying attention.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. By the way, welcome to season 19, the premiere of the People's Court. Here's the deal. Should a bar owner be responsible for a car crash if the bar owner overserves somebody in the bar and they get in a car accident? What do you think?
I think there might be some sort of...
Should there be?
Should there be? Well, he's not the one responsible for the person getting behind the wheel.
So you say no?
I say yes.
Because?
Because it's the bar owner's responsibility to make sure that his patrons can get home safely.
That's the question. Is that the bar owner's responsibility?
Yes,
It is. So the bar owner should be responsible.
definitely.
Okay, going inside the courtroom.
People have accidents all the time. Every single one of them are not drunk. So you're assuming the person was drunk. And then for them to be responsible, you have to assume a third fact, okay? Which is that the bartender knew they were drunk and served them anyway. I have to find that you have proven all these 3 facts and then ignore the fact that you're illegally parked there, because you have no business parking in another landlord's parking lot. Even if they've allowed you to do so, you really have no business doing that. So how on earth are you going to prove this case?
Well, like you said, it was open. He stated it was the
Yeah,
only
but how do
bar.
you know that somebody was drunk and the bartender knew they were drunk? How do you know that?
I don't know that. That's
Right.
true.
All
I
right.
can say that, but this assumption is there.
No,
That,
the assumption's not there. This is how court works. You may
Okay.
feel that you're right, and that's fine. But for you to go to court and say somebody has to pay me $5,000, you have to prove by a preponderance of the evidence that you're right. And there are a lot of missing pieces in a lot of cases, and yours, 99% of the pieces are missing. My
Okay.
verdict in this case is for the defendant.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, so with that, the plaintiff's out here on the losing end of this case. Too much assumption, not enough proof.
Facts, right. And I get it. I understand now, but I had to because I felt like he needed to be held accountable, and she saw otherwise. It is
All
what
right,
it
well,
is.
this is what you really believe happened,
Absolutely.
but is there any room in your head for possibly another explanation for what went down?
No.
How do you know? How do you know for sure?
Because of the surrounding environment. There's no other establishment there but that bar. No other person that be serving alcohol at that time of night.
The 98% though?
Yeah, I understand.
Maybe they weren't drunk. You're parking in the wrong place.
If they can't make it out of a parking lot, they have to be drunk.
Are you going to park someplace else?
I'm actually moving.
Okay.
Thank you.
So long. All right, what do you think of the outcome here in this case in general?
I knew that's what was going to happen.
How'd you know?
Because she said she has no idea of anything. There's nobody, she doesn't know who hit the car, when it, she got out in the morning, the car was hit. Just don't blame the nearest business, We're legit. I've been there for over 20 years. We've never had any problems. So, and I've been over there several times telling them, don't park here.
Yeah.
Don't
Maybe you
park
shouldn't
here.
let anybody park
Well,
there.
it's not I don't own the building. I own the business in there. They own the building.
All right, Harvey.
Okay, this is actually a very hot topic, Kurt, among the various states. And some states say bar owners are responsible, and other states say they're not responsible. It's the job of the consumer, the customer, to monitor himself or herself. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.